Yo, what's going on, guys? Remarkable here, and we're doing something different today. I took a clip from my live stream, which I stream on Twitch, link in the description. Also, schedule can be in the Discord. In this clip, I react to a YouTube video made by Arcade Edition regarding to the Minecraft Dungeons loot system. Now that this is out of the way, let's roll with the clips. Let's go.
Minecraft Dungeons for the better part of 2 days. On the day of release, we pulled an all-nighter and quickly pushed to Apocalypse difficulty. We were having a ton of fun while progressing decently level-wise and gear-wise. Or so we thought.
And then this was basically like the first day I'm talking about, like the 12 hours, you know. And they played like 16 straight. And I'm not joking about that, they actually did play 16 straight.
After a conversation with our friend who had been playing solo and some testing, we quickly realized that whether by choice or by mistake, Minecraft Dungeons has an extreme issue with its loot design.
Love the intro, bro.
At the time that we discovered this, the group that I'd been playing with were all player levels 60 through 75. Our power levels were high 50s.
Oh, let me fix that, I realized that it's a little off.
To mid 60s, and we were a couple of dungeons into Apocalypse mode. Our friend Mark, however, who had played a bit with us the first day,
He's talking about me.
but aside from that had been playing solo, was player level 45 and had a power level of 71.
Alright, so my power level was 72 and I was actually level 49, but still. They were 70s to 80, right? They had power level like 55, 65, right? I'm level 45. That's almost half of their level, if you think about it. And I have almost 20 increase in power level. Like, just put that in retrospect. That's insane.
He was also about halfway done with adventure mode.
That too. I didn't even start Apocalypse. Like, what? How is that even possible?
We were surprised to find out that he was a higher power level and had better gear than us, while being much lower in player level, and while playing lower difficulty content. This sent us into a rabbit hole of questions and testing, trying to figure out what happened. We wondered whether it was due to him playing solo while we mostly played in a group, or whether it was a bug with the game. After a few hours of testing, here's what we found. Your power level, which is the average level of all your items and artifacts combined, determine the level range of the items and artifacts that can be acquired from dungeons or the blacksmith. Your power level updates every time you go through a loading screen, which can include loading from the main menu into camp, loading from camp into a dungeon, or loading from a dungeon back to camp. Dungeons have a set loot level range, with minimum and maximum levels that are somewhat affected by the difficulty, but mostly by your power level, as determined by the gear you were wearing in the last loading screen. The blacksmith has a hidden loot level range, with minimum and maximum levels based on your power level. Okay, cool, that's a lot of information, but what does this actually all mean? Basically, it means that if you stick with slightly lower level items that are objectively better for your build, you're going to progress significantly more slowly.
Since some people do play it like this, oh, well, it's higher level gear, might as well be thinking it's better for you. But there's undefined or undistinguished classes in this game, in a sense. You could make like a range class, you can make a fast speeding class, you can make a melee class, a fast attack class, you name it. But people want to build those builds, right? But they want to get better geared for that build, but they can't because they had that certain level. Like, that power level is the same. You're going to keep getting geared that are within that range. You're never going to get more, in a sense. And then if you do get 60, like a higher level gear in that range, you have to equip that to increase the range.
Run a low level death cap mushroom in a high DPS build. Even though that low level mushroom is still better combat wise than any other artifact you could use, it is still bringing your power level down, and is therefore causing you to get lower level loot drops. This system rewards players that switch out their current gear every single time they get any type of loot that is a higher power level. and punishes those that go for structured builds that are either better in combat or just straight up more fun. The other weird thing about this is the fact that your power level is only calculated every time you go through a loading screen. This actually means that you can sort of get around this issue by equipping your highest level gear, loading into a dungeon, and then switching to your actual build that might be worse power level wise, but is better for actual combat.
They probably didn't intend the load screen like glitch. I think they meant to have it update over time, but I do truly think they intended for the update every single time, in a sense, like not through loading screens. I think they didn't mean the loading screen, but I do think they meant to have like as your average power level increases, you get better gear, which I hate to say it, but I think they definitely meant that, as much as we hate it. This doesn't seem rewarding in a sense, but we'll see. We'll let them play out.
But you would need to do this for every single dungeon. It also means that player and difficulty level of dungeons are a lot less important, since player level is either barely or not at all tied to loot level ranges. Grinding for experience only affects the number of enchantments you can get, which is a lot less important later in the game. As for difficulty level of dungeons, this is a smaller complaint, but other games in this genre will reward you with far better loot for playing far harder difficulties. However, in Minecraft Dungeons, the difference in loot levels between one difficulty and a far harder one doesn't feel big enough. For example, Adventure 6 Redstone Mines versus Apocalypse 6 Redstone Mines. While this takes your power level into account and it uses this to create ranges, these ranges definitely don't feel rewarding enough at the more difficult levels. Just to show you an example of this, this is my level 86 character with 68 power level. I'm going to start an online game, and you'll see that when I go to my mission select, and I select Redstone Mines on Apocalypse difficulty, the gear and artifact power is 70 to 79. And then if I unequip all my gear and I go back, it still says 70 to 79. And then if I return to main menu and I go back into an online game, you will see that in the mission select menu, Redstone Mines now has a gear and artifact power of 1 through 30 because my power level is now 1. And in this example, I'm power level 0, and I'm going to start up Redstone Mines. And then as soon as I load in, I'm going to equip my good gear, and that's going to put me at a power level of around 60, I believe. And then you'll see I progress through this level pretty easily, and I end up getting a drop, which is a level 6 Phantom Armor. So it was using my...
And I think that's so dumb. You load into the dungeon with power level 0. Now, obviously, let's say the real circumstance where this evidence could be used, in a sense, like, you're not gonna be playing Apocalypse 2 with 0 power. That is for sure. But this was just to test like the range. It doesn't matter what difficulty it is. You get the range. You are set at this specific range at this specific power level average, which it makes no sense. Having it freaking change from only load screens, it just makes it dumb. Like, for this to apply, it would be like you're a level, I don't know, power level 30, or power level like 20 something, right? Well, I guess 1 to 30 is the or that first range. Let's say you're like 31 and you're replaying on Adventure 2 or something. You're gonna be hindered on all that stuff if you're not putting higher gear on, and you might be struggling through Adventure 2 or Adventure 3 for that matter. That's where I feel like that's where the flaw is. It's just the range is specific to the power level, not the difficulty, not the actual level of the character.
Old power level when I loaded into it, regardless of what I was wearing at the time. In conclusion, this means that if you want the best loot possible, You need to actively change what gear you're wearing before you load into a dungeon. If you don't, you'll be artificially limited by your own power level and will ultimately progress much more slowly than someone just randomly equipping whatever random high-level gear they can get. In my opinion, this seems like less than ideal game design, and it generally just feels bad to play. Gear drops should be tied to your character level or to the difficulty level of the dungeon that you're clearing, not to some.
The Arcade just said it makes no sense. A power level is there just to show, or it should be at least, to show like how strong you are, but it's determining what loot you get, you know? It just doesn't make sense. It should be based on difficulty, it should be based on character level, because character level and power level are two different things. Maybe you could link them to one, I don't know, but I honestly think they need to have difficulties, like you run a certain dungeon a million times and get some rare loot. That's how I always look at it. And then you get that insane loot, but it's such a hard grind, but you get really good loot at the end and it's hard. But people might be doing this, like in their case scenario, where they are such a higher level, but then they're doing Apocalypse and all that stuff, and they're not getting the same power as I am with Adventure. It makes no sense. I played the game to that point. I played the game in the right way, and I guess as a way to put it, it's a linear progression in the sense that when you get higher loot, you put it on. I don't know what factor it is linear wise, in a sense like how much it's growing, that like how much you're increasing your values by, because I don't know how the ranges work in a sense, but it's 100% based on your power level, and it works on the wandering trader and it works on the blacksmith. That's just bad, like, and all I could do is feel for them. I played it, I guess I technically played the game right in a sense, which that's just, when you put that many hours in that early, you should be rewarded. I gotta be real. I shouldn't be rewarded for the fact that I played like a lot less and put higher gear on because it's higher gear, not in the sense that I want to build a build, but I want to get a higher difficulty. Again, this is my thoughts and opinions on the game, and you guys do not have to have these same thoughts and opinions. Other than that, I'm thinking about starting a hardcore Minecraft series on YouTube, which will use my Twitch streams clips into a really funny and entertaining video. Also, maybe start up a tutorial or Minecraft Dungeons content in the future. We'll see about that. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more weekly content down the line. Have a remarkable day.
Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know